Ladies and gentlemen, my name is Totalbiscuit. I'm here to ask and answer one simple question. WTF is Waveform. This is something of a light-hearted, I suppose, action puzzler. I don't really know how to describe it. It doesn't really fit into too many genres. It's by a company called Eden Industries, and it involves riding a wave, a beam of light throughout the universe in order to restore light to a dying galaxy being devoured by a singularity, whatever the balls that means. So, the control method is intriguing, to say the least. As in, it's incredibly simple, but it's really hard. So, let's go into it. It's probably best to do that, honestly, and show you what exactly is going on with the game. We'll check out the options menu, as we always do. You can change your mouse sensitivity around, which is actually kind of important. This is very much a mouse-controlled game. You can change your options around, hold the mouse to move the wave, yes or no, pause on the right mouse button, as well as resolution options and windowed yes or no, whichever you prefer. So, a reasonably decked out options menu. It's not a graphically intensive game, so you shouldn't have to worry too much about that. Now, I also have the DLC here, which I'm going to attempt. I'm not going to do it right now, but I'm going to attempt it because this should give you an impression of how hard the game gets, since this is supposed to be played after, I believe, the Venus levels, which are very far into the game. The game also has achievements, as you might imagine. So let's start off with Pluto. This is the easy stuff, folks, but as you'll notice, I've done 2 levels before to get a little bit of familiarity with the game, and my completion rate is not that great at all. So, let's play a little bit of Waveform and find out what exactly is going on. So, what is the point of Waveform? The point of Waveform is to get as many points as possible. How do you get them? Well, you do it by altering this waveform here, this amplitude wave of light, as you can see. Well, as you can also see, I'm failing pretty damn hard. Now, I had to focus really hard on this game to actually do well at it at all, and that was while I wasn't talking. So I am not thinking I'm going to do so well while speaking. That seems like it's not going to go well for me at all, and indeed it really is not. So what's the point of it? So the point is to collect as many of these as possible while avoiding the various galactic phenomenon that are out to kill you horribly. God, I was so much better at this when I wasn't talking. Wow. I'm half tempted just to redo it, but I know you guys will get upset if I do post-commentary on it, so I guess you'll have to see my failure. You'll like that anyway. So the point is to adjust this waveform to make sure that you get everything that is in the level and avoid the stuff you're not supposed to be seeing. Now, if you do it properly, it will actually increase the speed. At the moment, it's nice and relaxed because it knows that I'm awful at it. Let's see if I can actually stay on there. That's 100%. That's very, very good. Screwed that up completely. Wow, really? I don't even see how you could possibly grab that. Let's readjust the waveform here. So, when you hold down the left mouse button, you are able to adjust your waveform. If you go to the right or to the left, it's going to compress or expand the waveform. Oh, that was terrible. If you move up and down, then it's going to extend or retract the waveform. So you want to try and get it to match up as much as possible with what you're seeing on the screen right there. As much as possible anyway, but you've got to do all this in real time. This is at the lowest possible speed out of 5, so if you're good at this game, it can go crazy, crazy difficult very, very fast. I'm not good at this game. Absolutely terrible at it. It did advertise itself as being easy to learn, hard to master. I would tend to agree with that assessment. It is very much that. Very much so. Oh, screwed that up. Horribly. Now, there's also a really nice ambient soundtrack in the background. You know, I think in the next level, I'm going to do something I very rarely do, because I don't really want to talk so much over the soundtrack. I do want to be able to focus on the game and play a little bit better, so I'm actually going to do an entire level silently. The reason is so that you can listen to the music in the background, and so that I can actually focus and try and give you some reasonable gameplay. Alright, there we go. So, it's now going to tell me how terrible I am. Pretty damn bad, quite frankly. Bonuses, perfect waves, I only got 2 of them. Warp through the exit portal, good, so I get 10,000 for that. And there's a multiplier, and yeah, that's really not very good. What's my completion? Decent. Yeah. Wow, 2 stars out of 10, 23% completion rating, that's absolutely atrocious. Okay, let's go on to level 4 then, shall we? And I'm going to shut up and show you, or more to the point, allow you to hear what this game has to offer. There you go, folks. That's what happens when I'm not commentating. Much easier to get a much higher score. So, one might describe this game as just a little bit zen. Certainly at the slower speed it is. If it gets a little bit more hectic, then it's far from that. I find a lot of games like this end up being quite relaxing until it starts to get just a little bit hectic. Even that, which was one might have thought an almost perfect run, was only a 61% completion. So there is a ton of replay value involved in this game if you're the kind of person that loves his achievements and, of course, loves to get everything right. Now, I'm intrigued to see what this is all about. Ooh, alright. So the game gradually introduces different game mechanics, and there's more than 100 levels in it, not including the DLC. So here... you can't be serious! Really? Spatial distortions? Alright, that's ridiculous. Wow. Lining up your waveform in this case is just absurdly difficult as a result of those distortions that are going on in the space-time bloody continuum. Mr. Data, please realign the deflector dish and pump some tachyons through it or something. Lord. It's nuts. Well, it's a rather trippy and cool visual experience, certainly. This is one of those games where you've got one simple concept, and what you try and do is execute it incredibly well. And if you do that, then what you've got is a really, really awesome game, although it may get a little bit boring for some people that are looking for more variety. This game does have variety in it, because it keeps introducing these new game mechanics and different challenges and ways to play the game, even though the core concept and mechanics remain the same. And that is, in my opinion, the hallmark of great design. Some people want more variety in their games, but I can see lots of people having a ton of fun with this. Funnily enough, I was actually looking through the Metacritic reviews, which I very rarely do, because more often than not, the games I do don't actually have Metacritic reviews. They often aren't reviewed by enough prominent places. This game actually wasn't. It got an 81, which is surprising considering. It seemed like a game with a concept like this would be consigned to obscurity, and while it hasn't sold a huge number of copies, I mean, this is a really solid title for what it is. It's got a great soundtrack. It's got an awesome concept, and once you get the hang of the controls, it is actually really, really satisfying. I feel a little bit seasick as a result of this level, admittedly. Good lord. Okay, 100%? Yes, yes we can. Oh. God, yep. There we go. Simplistic gameplay does not mean easy all the time. You can create a simplistic game that is also difficult. And in this case, Waveform is exactly that. We're only onto level 5 out of over 100, and already it's proving to be somewhat challenging, to say the least. 57% completion. Yeah, the guys who are into finishing with perfect scores are going to have a field day with this one, I think. I'll play through a couple more levels, I think. Let's do one more here. It does actually have a story, as you can see. Very light story elements. I'm going to play through one of these, and then I'm going to try the DLC levels. Because I'm told these are ridiculously difficult, and that'll also allow you to see some more of the advanced game mechanics. You've also got a little bit of a non-linear completion right here. I can go to 7 or I can go to 5. Let's go to 7. Why not? Let's crank it up just a little bit. Alright, here we go. Tricky. Not a good start. Let's miss that and just try and align as best we can over here and avoid the dark matter. This thing's got an amazing soundtrack, by the way. What am I doing? Wow. I told you, doing this while commentating is really difficult. The soundtrack just sounds fantastic. It's nice and ambient. It reminds me of some of the space exploration games. It's got a really good cosmic feel to it. I would happily just play this for the soundtrack, in fact. Really adds an awful lot to the game. Some people turn their music off, and I think that's a crying shame, especially with indie games. More often than not, they actually put quite a lot of effort into getting some really great, awesome compositions going. No, 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 no. Bad, bad, bad. And Waveform is no exception in that regard. None at all. Ooh, this is tricky. There we go, there we go. Good, 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 good. It's a really cool game. It's simple, but difficult. And that sounds like a contradiction, but when you think about it, it really isn't. There are a lot of simple games that are also very challenging. This is exactly that. It's really well designed, it's got a great aesthetic to it, it's got a ton of content, it's not very expensive either. This game will actually set you back $7. Sorry, I'm trying to look at the Steam page here and play the game. Very difficult. $7, £4.49, and €5.49. So actually a fair price for the Europeans, which is always nice to see. Try to do 3 things at once right now, and it's not going well for me. And quite frankly, this game is actually deserved of your attention if it's the kind of thing that you would be into. A lot of people aren't into games like this, and I myself don't necessarily like puzzle games. Is this a puzzle game? What is it exactly? It is certainly... Uh-oh. Oh, this isn't good. It's certainly defying genres, I have to say. Is there a genre for line running? I don't know, is there? Well, looks like I'm possibly going to be eaten by dark matter here. Let's try and get out of that. The screen has got a little bit darker. The music's got a little bit more hectic. Let's get up just a little bit more speed. I'm going to miss most of these. What's the alignment? Yeah, that would work. Okay. You do have to slightly realign a lot of the time. You might think, oh, well, you can just set it up and just let it run. No. More often than not, the position of these pickups is deliberately designed so that you have to make slight adjustments as you go through. So letting it just run, that's not going to get you very far, especially not considering that there's bloody dark matter everywhere and all sorts of nonsense like that. That was stupid. Why did I do that? Oh, no, 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 no. No. Oh, you can die. All right, I was not aware of that. Apparently you can die. There you go. Yeah, this makes me very much want to try out the DLC level, because that was only level 7 of 100. Let's check out the DLC levels. This is going to go really badly for me, isn't it? Let's give it a shot. There are leaderboards, by the way, if you do want to compete in this game, so... Alright, level 1, Eris. Let's give it a try. Pulsars emit bursts of powerful light, activating one will create a temporary distortion field that will briefly reveal hidden objects. Oh, Lord. This sounds horrendous. There are also different colors of light. What the... I'm not really sure what's going on with that. I wonder if there's actually a reason for that other than it looking pretty. There probably is, knowing these guys. Alright, there we go. That's a match, for the most part. That bounces off of there. There we go. Not too shabby. Well, it's not too difficult so far. Miss, readjust that. There we go. There we go. Oh, can't readjust quickly enough for that. That's actually a cool thing as well, because there is a significant element of pre-planning involved in this. You might think, oh, well, you can just readjust it quickly. You actually can't. Once it gets too close, there really is no way to do that. So you do have to be extremely careful and think ahead, while also thinking on your feet. I suppose you could call it oh, bollocks. I suppose you could call it a puzzle game, but I don't know, it's just... it just defies genres. And it's a very cool concept. It's well implemented. What you've got here is a good value game that's going to appeal to some people. I think I'd probably play a level of this every once in a while. I don't think it's something that I would sit around and play a ton of, but I think that's maybe because these kind of games are not necessarily all that appealing to me. It's difficult to make that determination one way or the other. I mean, who would even describe themselves as being into games like this? I don't know. But I suppose you can call it an action puzzler. That's all-encompassing. God, this is really hard. Wow. Just wow. I missed the pulsar, so I guess I can't make that form of light appear either. This is going to be a bad, bad level for me, isn't it? Yep, pretty much. Oh, how do you even pull that off? There we go. Mostly. This just not what is happening. I'm supposed to be trying to stay calm and just no, let's run into all of them. Yes, that sounds wonderful. I'm supposed to be staying nice and calm and zen, but I don't know. It's difficult to do when the game is throwing so much crazy acid trip nonsense at you. And I missed that too. Oh god. This may be the game that I have been worst at in a very, very long time. But I tell you what, there's actually a demo for this game, so I challenge you to do better. I really do. Give it a try. Try doing live commentary while playing this game and see how well it goes for you. I'm gonna go with, it'll be a bloody nightmare for you. Sometimes, I like to see schadenfreude of my own, rather than have it inflicted upon me. Whatever the case, folks, Waveform is currently available for the low price of $7, £4.49 or €5.49. An action puzzler brought to you by Eden Industries, currently available on Steam. My name has been Totalbiscuit, taking a look at this title, disastrously failing at this title. I'll see you next time.